Okay, I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible and at the same time explain to you how to solve a 2 by 2 row matrix by row operations. And so the first thing I did was, so here remember that we're aiming to get a matrix that looks like it has ones on the diagonals. Everything to the left of the ones is 0, and then the other positions, this A, B, and C, can be any numbers. So here's an example of a system: x minus 4y is 0 and x plus 1y is 1. And I've written the matrix, the system as a matrix. And you'll notice here that I already have a 1 in the upper left-hand corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use row operations, change my color, and I'm going to multiply this line by -1. Okay, so if I do that, then in this position I'd get -1, here I'd get 4, and here I'd get 0. And now I'm going to take this changed line and I'm going to add it to the bottom line. And so what happens, let's go back to the green. What happens is the next matrix, I keep the first line, the first row, or I could say I changed it back to what it was. And then I'm going to add these two rows. So -1 and 1 is 0, and 4 and 1 is 5, and then finally 0 and 1 is 1. So now I have the 1 and the 0, and remember what I said in class is you always want to work down the column. So you want to get the 1, the 0, and then you want to get the next one. So now we need this to be a 1. So whenever you're doing where you're just changing the number to a 1, all you need to do is multiply the line by the reciprocal of that number. And so if I do that, then my final matrix, I get 1, -4, and 0. And then in the second matrix, 1/5 times 0 is 0, 1/5 times 5 is 1, and then 1 times 1/5 is 1/5. So what have I found? What have I found out? I found out that y is equal to 1/5. And so then x plus 1/5 has to equal 1, because I can substitute it back into either equation. And so x is equal to 4/5. Okay? So that's a 2 by 2 matrix.